Good morning and welcome to this week's press conference. Thanks to all of you for joining us here today. Today our topic is about something we have experienced in the last couple of weeks. Snow removal operations in the City of Erie, PA is renowned for its heavy snowfall. We have experienced intense winter conditions with an average annual snowfall exceeding 100 inches. The city often grapples with lake effect snow from Lake Erie, resulting in picturesque winter landscapes and challenging weather conditions. We all are accustomed to significant snow accumulation, making snow removal and winter preparedness crucial aspects of life here in Erie. We all should be proud of the Public Works Department and the City of Erie streets crew who do an amazing job every winter keeping our streets clear and safe and allowing us to maintain the activities of our daily lives. Here to tell us more about snow removal operations in Erie is Jeff Gibbons, the Bureau Chief of Streets. Jeff, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mayor. Good morning. As the Mayor said, the Bureau of Streets is all about helping you navigate through the city streets during the winter weather. We do it in multiple different ways. We face a lot of different obstacles through that. So today we're just going to discuss about how we approach things and what we use to deal with fighting snow in the City of Erie. The first part is we work with, we have 49 employees. We take them and put them on 3 shifts. Now we put a first, second, and third shift where we have 17 employees on first, 12 on second, and 12 on third. We also have an additional 7 employees that we use from our paint and sign and our compost site that we can also deploy if we need them. We have 33 trucks that we use. 17 of those are salt spreaders. 11 of those have the capability of having a wing plow on them, and where they can cover 18 feet of the road in one shot. So having that capability helps us to be more efficient every day. Also, we use the single axle trucks along with that. We are responsible for over 300 linear miles in the City of Erie. So that's a lot of road to cover. So what we do is we break the city up into sections. Part of the sections are we do the inner city, which is the odd even parking. That goes from the lake all the way to 32nd Street, from Bauer Avenue to East Avenue. That's where the odd even parking is between 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. during the week. We plow those every day. Now, on the weekends, if that snow happens to hit, we'll try to go into those areas, but usually we don't unless we get a significant amount of snow. So we'll also go into, after that, we finish that, we go into what we have our outlying areas, which is above 33rd to Grandview from Pittsburgh Avenue all the way to Bird Drive. Those are usually done in the evenings. So we usually try to get in there after 3 o'clock. Sometimes we'll be able to get in there before then, but usually we get in there after 3 o'clock. Then our last section obviously is our downtown area, which is from 26 to Dobbins Landing, from French all the way across to Peach to Sass. We do that at night. So that's our 2 to 6 area. We call that. We go down there and get downtown done Monday through Friday. The way we attack snow usually depends on what time of day it hits. So if it snows early and it's light, we go into our 7 salt runs. So we'll put out 7 trucks, we'll be salting, and then as the snow picks up, then we determine where we're going by the time of day it is. So if it's like 3 o'clock, we will break our crews up into our main run crews. So we'll put 2 wing plow trucks and a single axle on the west side of town, or a single plow, I'm sorry, and then we'll take 2 wing plows and a single plow and put them on the east side of town, and they will maintain our snow emergency routes. So they'll just continuously stay on those until we keep them clear. If it's after 3 o'clock, we will go into the outlying areas first, which will attack those with teams of 2. And at that point, we're usually on our 7 to 7 schedule. So we'll take first shift, they'll stay on from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And then our second shift and third shift will combine from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. And we'll stay on that as long as possible. And we'll work through the outlying areas. And then in the morning when first shift comes in, we'll go into the inner city. Now, if the snow hits early, we'll be able to get into those odd even parking areas sooner. So a lot of the snowfall, or a lot of our approach is about what time of day it's at. So that's how we deal with that. And being in Erie, you know, most of us understand how much snow we get. So, you know, a 5-6 inch snow event in some places is a big deal. In Erie, Pennsylvania, that's just another day. So again, we attack those things accordingly with how the weather is going. Excuse me. The things you can do to help us get through those is obeying the odd even parking. We have some slides in a minute. We're going to show you what our plow trucks face as we're trying to get through there. If you park on the wrong side of the street and you're supposed to be on the even side, which is all coincided with the date. So let me retract that. But the odd even parking is all by what day of the week it is. So if it's an even day, you're not supposed to park on that side. If it's an odd day, you park on the opposite side of it. We plow those every day to try to get, again, both sides of the street in corresponding days. You need to follow those. When we come down the street and you're on the wrong side, and you'll see in the slides how we can't get through, or our trucks have like a 1/2 inch on each side of the truck to try to get through that, makes it slow. Number one, it slows the process down, and it also makes it very unsafe for the operator in the truck. He's either got to try to back up, or he's going to have to sit there till somebody comes out and moves the car. And again, you know, when we talk about public safety, I know we think police and fire, but in the wintertime, the snow plows are public safety. If we don't get that road open and there's a foot of snow on there and you have emergency, sometimes that fire truck might not be able to get down the street. If you have a car parked in the wrong way and it's on the wrong side of the street, if our plow can't get through, a fire truck and an ambulance is not going to get down that street. And then obviously, you know, when the police have to come and they got to try to get through there, we need to have those roads open and keep them safe for you. Our main goal is to keep the city safe. Our employees realize the importance of our job. Okay, we have, you know, we talk about it, how important it is for us to keep these roads open, because, you know, they always talk about what's the most important street in the city of Erie, and when I ask people that, they don't really know. It's the one you live on, right? It's the street you live on. That's the most important one, and we try to take care of everybody equally. And what we need is for you to do us what you're supposed to do so we can do our job. So parking in the driveway, being on the right side of the street. You know, when you see us coming, give us the room to do the work. You know, we have a lot of people that will try to, you know, they like to play this game of beat the snowplow. We're trying to get the road open for you so you can go through it safely. You going around a snowplow or a salt spreader could be detrimental to you because we haven't treated the road in front of the truck yet. You know, and you need to just let us get down the road and get what we need to do. So just to remember that when you see the snow plows, give them the space they need. And remember, we are just trying to make the road very safe for you so you can get where you need to go. And, you know, we take a lot of pride in that. You know, over the years, we've gotten a lot of snow where we have never, ever closed a road in the city of Erie. You know, we do all the state roads in the city where all the municipalities around us, their roads are maintained by PennDOT. So every state highway that comes through the city of Erie, we maintain. And most people don't understand that. I mean, that's a lot. That adds a lot to our plate. So like in Mill Creek, Harbor Creek, 12th Street, 26th Street, 20, all that is maintained by the state of Pennsylvania. Inside the city of Erie, all those roads except the Bayfront Parkway is maintained by the City of Erie Streets Department. So we have to make sure we schedule things out the right way. We have trucks going the right way, but it also adds a lot to our plate to get those, to stay on top of those. And I think we do a very good job with that with our main run crews and things like that. So again, you know, when we have these issues and we go into a snow emergency, which hasn't only happened, I've been here 33 years, I think it's happened 4 times in the time I've been here. I could be wrong on that number, but I'm pretty sure it was 4 times where we've had to do that. You know, you really need to obey staying home, number one. Number two, and obeying the odd even parking signs and the snow emergency signs that you'll see out throughout the city to give us the room to get that open for you. Again, the bottom line is for us to make the roads safe for you. I can't stress that enough. You know, I get a lot of complaints on the phone of why are 3 trucks going this way, why are trucks going that way. We have patterns that we run with them, and they have to go in those directions, and it's the most efficient way. We've come up with multiple ways of doing things, and we've found the way that works the best. So, you know, our end goal is to get every street plowed by 24 hours. So once the snow has stopped. Our goal is at the end of the last snowflake, after 24 hours, every single street in the city of Erie has been plowed. Now, we will be plowing them as it's snowing. We don't pull off the road or anything like that. But if you think about your sidewalk and it snows and 3 hours later you got to go out and shovel it again, well, imagine that's your street, right? So now we have 300 miles of street to do. We might come by at 3 o'clock in the morning and you didn't see the snowplow because you're sleeping. Well, you get up in the morning and we got 2 inches an hour and there's 4 inches, 6 inches of snow in the morning on your street, and you're like, oh, the snowplow never came. We came. It kept snowing, and we just have to, again, we will just follow the process. We will go through our areas the way they are by the time frames, and then we'll be back out there again. So being patient with that. And then obviously, one of our huge complaints are, you buried my driveway, right? We use fixed plows that only go to the right. So that's the only place the snow can go. We don't have reversible plows. Number one, they can't handle the amount we do. So they're just not made for that. Those are like parking lots and driveways and things like that. But we use fixed plows. Everything goes to the right. We can't take it. Some people want us to take it to the corner and haul it away. That's just not possible for us. Okay. So remembering that when you call, I go home, I have to plow, I have to shovel my driveway when I get home. I live in the city of Erie, so I go home and I got a foot of snow in my driveway. It's just the way it works, unfortunately, with that. So, understanding that, and again, knowing how important this process is. We've been lucky the last 2 years that we haven't had snow as much as we normally do, but we really, that 100 inches of snow, some years we're number one for our size of the city. Unfortunately, Buffalo has been getting it more than we have, but all it takes is that wind to change off that lake, and it's our turn. So, we have really come a long way with snow plowing, especially with the wing plow truck. You'll notice those going down the street, and you might see a green dot in front of them. It's something we've come up with, which is a laser that's inside the truck that lets that operator know when he puts that laser onto a car or onto a curb, he has a 1.5 foot clearance where that laser is. So they're not looking out the side of the truck, that. It keeps it really efficient for our operators. And again, we can cover 18 foot of ground with one plow. You know what I mean? And we use those in some areas more than just the main runs. We'll take them up in the hills areas and the wider outlying areas. Unfortunately, they don't work in the odd even parking. It's just way too tight. That truck wouldn't make it through there. So we don't use them in those areas, but you will see them above 32nd Street, and you will see them on our main runs. But again, trying to stay as efficient as we can, and using almost 17 of those can salt, so we can plow and salt at the same time. And we're always ready for that event. So, I pretty much covered most of our snow, how we approach snow. Again, being patient with that. We do the cul-de-sacs. We have 4 high lifts that we'll send out to with that. So again, if you have an issue, all you need to do is call the streets department. We have 24/7 coverage. We always have somebody that's available to try to come out and take care of the areas that are, if you're having a problem, so when you go through those areas and if you're like, okay, we can't get down our street, you need to call and let us know, because citizens help us a lot with their eyes too. And we try to get as many plows out there as we can and try to take care of everybody's issue as soon as possible. So letting us know that you're having an issue and things like that. We have added using salt brine to our salt, which is another advantage we use. What that does is keep the salt active. And the other thing it does is as the salt's coming out of the back of the truck, it just doesn't bounce and skid across the road. The salt comes out, gets pre-wet, it's on the ground, and what it does is it actually creates a chemical reaction and makes the ground warmer, so that it breaks that ice bond from the road. And we try to get those down as fast as we can. So you might not see ice or snow on the ground, you'll see our truck salting. What we're trying to do is get ahead of it. So we're trying to get that down so it takes longer for the road to freeze up before then. So we use that a lot in our, we make our own salt brine, so we save money there. We don't have that, we don't buy that with anything. We actually make our own, so we have that process down, and all our trucks are equipped with the pre-wetting system. So they have tanks on the side. You'll see them with the tanks on the side, and that's what that is. That's actually salt brine in the truck. So at this point, that's pretty much. I'll turn it back to the mayor. Are we going to go over those removing of the snow to the driveway stuff? So with the removal of the snow through your driveways, we always talk about how to shovel it, okay? What you need to do is when you're opening your driveway, if you remove the snow to the right side of your driveway, the plow will take it down the street instead of if you put it on your left side of your driveway, we're going to end up pushing it right back into your driveway. So, that's just some of the things you can do to help yourself out with that. Unfortunately, you're still going to get snow in your driveway. It's the amount you can help affect the amount of snow that you're going to get through there. So doing that's going to help you a little bit. And again, I can't stress enough about the parking. You really need to do your diligence with parking. I understand it's tough and, not everybody has a driveway, but you really need to figure out where to put your car. Sometimes you have to put them in your neighbor's driveway. Once we go by, you're good to go. So we go by, we don't want to tow cars and we don't want to ticket cars, but it happens. It happens, especially if we get a car that hasn't moved in a long time and they don't get out of the area. We will have to come in and remove that car. So we don't want to do that. So trying to keep your cars where they're supposed to be is really going to help the City of Erie do what we have to do. And again, if you ever have any issues, you just call the Streets Department at 814-870-1340. Somebody's there around the clock to answer any of your questions or take care of any of your needs when it comes to snow plowing throughout the year. Mayor, thank you. Yeah.
That was very good. Really appreciate it. So thank you very much for sharing all that information. Really appreciate it, Jeff. I learned a lot. I learned a great deal listening to you, and I actually pre-read what you were going to say a couple times too. And this was great. I've got like 5 points that he made that I just want to reinforce that kind of stood out to me. And there were things I didn't necessarily understand before I read this and listened to him. Now, for instance, I do not know if you have an outstanding, I didn't know that you had an outstanding group of 47 plowing experts here in the City of Erie. That's really reassuring to know. Also, the salt pre-wetting agent, that is amazing. I now know that I have my sidewalk shoveled within 3 hours after the snowfall. I didn't know that before I read your information. And I've never realized how important it is to clean the snow around the fire hydrant. I don't have one near my house, but if I did, I'd make sure I did that going forward. And finally, it's great to know that during snowfalls, I can check road conditions 24 hours a day at 511pa.com. 511pa.com. You can call that anytime, and it'll give you an update on where things stand. So the Bureau of Streets does a terrific job plowing the city. One thing I have to remember right now is the first year I took mayor, in December of 2017, we had, I think, like 80-some inches of snow in 1 week right at Christmas time. And I still remember being sworn in that year on January 2nd, and it was there was still a lot of snow around that we had to not pay attention to and get away from. So the Bureau of Streets really does a terrific job plowing the City of Erie. We cannot thank you enough, and your team as well, for all that you do. So that concludes this week's press conference. Please continue to follow us on social media for the latest updates on everything happening here in the City of Erie. Everyone who spoke is now available for interviews, and thank you very much for being here or watching on TV.